This is the dumpling off of the century. So we're gonna take the two most popular and bring them head to head. Today we're doing Chinese style dumplings versus Japanese style dumplings. From what I've researched, Chinese dumplings have a much wider breadth. You know, you've got soup dumplings, steamed dumplings, there are also fried dumplings, yada 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 yada. So I figured let's choose an iconic one like shumai. Make them go with the #1 choice that you see often, which is gyoza. They've got some similarities, but they also have some major differences. We're gonna put them together, you know, have a little kiss, clean fight, but then and we'll find out, well, which one I like, but more specifically, if there's a winner. So with all that being said, let's make this, shall we?
Right, let's not waste time. First, we start with gyoza. Guess what? You'll need gyoza wrappers. Look, I'm not gonna judge you. Go buy them, make them yourself. It's up to you. I have a recipe for the wrappers. Look in the description for that. You like that little plug? All right. First off, pork. If you want gyoza, not only with maximum flavor, but with the most undeniably juicy, luscious filling, it'll have your knees shaking and wobbling at the mere squirt. Then you'll grind it fresh yourself. Anyway, start with 3/4 pound or 340 grams of ground pork in ideally a bowl. To that, you'll add 2 finely chopped green cabbage leaves, but wait, don't be nasty and throw it in there raw, otherwise it'll leach out too much liquid and it's gonna make a sloppy little dumpling. So instead, after you finally chop your cabbage, hit it with a touch of salt, toss together, and squeeze aggressively to release as much water from the cabbage as possible. Strain out the water, and then add it to your big, juicy bowl of meat. Follow that with 3 finely chopped green onions, 1 teaspoon or 3 grams of toasted sesame oil, 2 teaspoons or 8 grams of mirin, 1 tablespoon or 14 grams of soy sauce, 3/4 teaspoon or 5 grams of fine sea salt, 2 cloves of grated garlic, and a 2-inch knob of ginger peeled and also grated lovingly. Mix together by hand, you know, really get in there, put in some elbow grease. Getting sick of this lazy ass meat mixing I keep seeing on Instagram. It's sickening. I know you know how to smash, so please really emulsify this. Right, next up, our pork shumai filling. Very similar, but also literally not, if you take a closer look. Start with 4 dried shiitake mushrooms, cover those with boiling water, and allow to sit and rehydrate for 5 to 8 minutes or till very soft. Wring out the water from that little shiitake. What? And then yet again, 3/4 pound or 340 grams of ground pork. The fattier the better, so it's not a lump of coal wrapped in dumpling dough. Into a bowl and add a 1/4 cup or 40 grams of finely chopped water chestnuts, 2 finely chopped green onions, 2 teaspoons or 10 grams of Shaoxing wine, 1 teaspoon or 5 grams of soy sauce, 2 teaspoons or 8 grams of granulated sugar, 1 teaspoon or 6 grams of fine sea salt, half a teaspoon or half a gram of ground white pepper, a 1-inch knob of ginger grated. Mix and homogenize that beautifully meaty masterpiece. Finally, cut half a pound or 227 grams of raw peeled and deveined shrimp into 1/3-inch pieces. Pop that into your meat, gently fold together to avoid mashing the shrimp up too much. Chop your rehydrated mushrooms finely and fold those in as well. Ah, the tale of 2 dumpy fillings. And while they both share similarities, they also look quite different in texture to me. The stakes raise yet again. Okay, shaping time. Both extremely different. For the gyoza, wet the edges with water lightly. You'll place around a 1.5 teaspoon dollop of meat on a dumpling wrapper. Fold like a taco, adhere at the top center of that taco, and then you'll pleat both open ends 3 to 4 times all the way to the edges, first on one side and then on the other. Clip to make sure it's closed, make sure the bottom is flat. You can make it straight or you can curve it, it's up to you. Make sure everything is fully enclosed with no air bubbles. Bing bang bop, and you made a dumpling. Please listen to me here though. You're gonna have to shape a bunch of these by hand, so get a helper, but more specifically, relax your shoulders, loosen your jaw, unclench your cheeks. Ah, isn't that nice? And just make dumpling. Cool. Then repeat with all of your dumplings. Now, on to shumai. First, you'll need a different kind of wrapper. You can add an egg and slightly reduce the water in my gyoza wrapper, or you can buy an egg-based shumai wrapper. Now, make a hole with your index finger and thumb. Nice hole. Starting with half a teaspoon at a time, using an unsharpened butter knife or a mini offset spatula, smear your meat mixture in the center, allowing to push through that hole to start making sort of a little sack. Now, once you have the maximum amount of meat in the shumai, flatten the top out, flatten the bottom, and wet and fold any ears that are sticking up so it's nice and flat on the sides, and that's a shumai. Ironically, I actually find this one harder than the last. But again, breathe in, breathe out, make dumpling. Stop thinking about taxes. Stop thinking about the economy. Stop thinking about that scary movie and that there might be something behind you right now. Just make dumpling. And repeat with the rest. Right, cooking method. For the Japanese gyoza, first lightly oil a 12-inch non-stick pan with vegetable oil around 2 tablespoons. Heat over medium, and once hot but not searingly hot. Add in your shaped dumplings flat side down, leaving at least a 1/4 inch space in between each dumpy, and just letting the whole pan like brrr, you see what I'm saying? You see what I'm doing around here? All the way towards the center. Now let those cook and brown for around 2 minutes or until the underside reaches a nice golden brown color like this. From there, you'll add a 1/4 cup or 60 milliliters of water, immediately cover with a lid, reduce the heat to medium-low, and steam for about 7 to 8 minutes. Now while that's cooking, you can make your sauce, which is quite literally just 3 tablespoons or 33 grams of soy sauce, 3 tablespoons or 33 grams of rice vinegar, and half a teaspoon or half a gram of toasted sesame oil. Whisk till combined, and your sauce is done. Now once your gyoza are done, remove the lid, and if there's any water, let it simmer until completely gone. The gyoza skin should be a little bit transparent, and you guessed it, that god-dang thing better be cooked on the inside. We ain't making no god-dang medium rare dumplings. Cut off the heat and carefully remove from the pan and place the crusty side up to keep that good old crisp bottom. Serve hot with your sauce. Pork shumai are even easier. Get a traditional bamboo steamer basket, set over a pot with shallow simmering water in it, line the steamer with cabbage leaves, place as many shumai in there as you can fit, optionally add a little pinch of very finely diced carrots, or flying fish roe. Ideally you want around a 1/3 cup or 1 carrot worth. Cover with its lid and steam for 8 to 10 minutes or until the filling is cooked all the way through, around 160 degrees Fahrenheit. Now while that's cooking, shumai sauce is literally just going to be 2 tablespoons or 24 grams of chili oil solids or spicy chili crisp, and 2 tablespoons or 24 grams of Chinese black vinegar. Whisk together and you got a sauce that you'll surely call mommy. Now once that's done, remove your lid and your shumai, serve with the sauce, and we have 2 incredible dumplings, both born in different homes, but yet they share a home in our hearts. Now let's taste test and see if there's a winner.
We got 2 dumperoonies right here. Gyoza, pan-fried, crispy bottom, steamy top, oily, nice, lovely, and shumai. If you've never had shumai, it's basically a really full dumpling. We'll start with the shumai. I'm liking it. Now, gyoza, the secret. You bite a little hole, you dip, but then you kind of scoop, and then you eat the whole thing. Okay, you got the crunch on the bottom. Salty, sweet, acidic. It's just like this intense, garlicky, green onion flavor. It's very straightforward. The texture's super meaty, but fatty at the same time. There's distinct differences between these two though. If I were to pick, I would pick the Japanese gyoza over the shumai because I feel like it hits more of the little elements that you want. A little crunchy, a little chewy, a little soft. And to me, the flavor's a little more straightforward. The shumai is much more complex. So if you're looking for complexity, shumai is the answer. But in my book, I'm going with the gyoza more often than not. But one isn't necessarily better than the other. But do you know what is always better? B-roll.